Hey everybody, it's Mark, Dr. Deadwax, and we're back for day 31 of the Inbox Challenge. So, the end of month 1 or the beginning of month 2, depending on how you look at a month. Today's numbers were picked by Drew is Short or 100. Don't think this person makes videos, but I know they watch our videos and I know they comment because I see their likes and comments on other people's videos. So. They picked 3 numbers, and I'm going to do all 3, but I'm not going to do any extras because I was out digging today, and maybe if I have some time at the end, I'll show what I pulled. Now, tonight I'm enjoying a nice porter. And it's the Edmund Fitzgerald. The Edmund Fitzgerald is from Great Lakes Brewery. And it's really an excellent porter with handcrafted porter from Cleveland with kind of coffee and chocolate notes to it. I highly recommend it. And anyway, that's enough of that. Let's quit fucking around and get back to the music. Get back to the video here. So the first record I pulled is Rush, Farewell to Kings. Now these the first 2 records are from there's a junk shop near here that I was walking by one day, and I noticed some records outside, and the guy was sitting out there smoking, and I said, "You got any more inside?" And he said he did. He said he just gotten a whole bunch in. So I went inside and I had a look through them, and I grabbed 2 of them, and I grabbed a bunch of them, and 2 of them came up today. This is a Farewell to Kings by Rush, and of course this is just an absolute classic Rush album. Farewell to Kings is Xanadu, Closer to the Heart, Cinderella Man, Madrigal, and Cygnus X1. I mean, just great stuff. This is on a standard anthem. Standard anthem. This is a Canadian pressing, U.S. plates with the Capitol logo and the deadwax. That again is the circle inside the circle with the little line through it that looks like the letter C, and it's the same as that Capital Target logo I showed in a video recently. So, I mean, this record is just, it has like this almost patina of fine scratches across the surface. And yet, sometimes you have a perfect record that has a slight hairline on it that just ticks for like an hour. And then sometimes you have records that are just absolutely trounce looking that play really well. And this actually plays pretty well. It's got one bad scratch that ticks for like a minute, but other than that, it's pretty enjoyable. And this is actually the only copy of this record I have. So for $1, maybe I love to take a flyer on crap. So why not? So the next record is this thing. And look at this. I mean, same collection, same junk shop, $1. I bought like 20 records that day. Neil Young, Comes a Time. Look at this. I think somebody's coffee exploded on this. It's actually like inside too. I don't know how they got it inside, but they managed to get it inside. So anyway, the year is 1978. Neil Young has seen Saturday Night Fever. He's bought himself a white suit. He's basically living in Studio 54 in New York City. He's totally infatuated with the disco craze. He's infamously caught on camera snorting like mounds of cocaine off of Donna Summer's belly in the club. In fact, he's so infatuated with Donna Summer that he releases her song "Lot of Love" on this record. So he's covering disco now, okay? And he releases this record. The critics just villainize it. They say the worst record of his career, and never ever will he do anything worse than this. It is just absolutely not possible that he could put out a record worse than this. His wife flies in from California to New York City, drags him back home to California, straightens him out. He gets his shit back together. She reads him the riot act. He signs with Geffen, and he shows those critics that he could make records that were a lot worse than this one. And that is Neil Young Comes a Time. Tony's head exploded yet? Tony, you there? You okay? Okay, that was just complete bullshit. Lot of Love was a song that he gave to Nicolette Larson, who sings on this record backup vocals with him and lead track on one song. It's a song he gave to her that she recorded a version of that then subsequently had like a disco-y version of that was kind of a bit of a hit. So that's for the whole... I don't think he ever did the Saturday Night Fever thing. So this is a good record. You know, it's this particular one's gross looking, but I have another copy of this. I just, you know, I'm not going to leave a Neil Young record for $1 that I like, just on the off chance that it had something interesting to Deadwax, which is what this one didn't. It was just this was just standard U.S. plate shipped to Canada and used to press this. But I'd say this is a little bit of the country, folk, rock, Neil Young again, the harvest, the after the gold rush kind of a sound. Nicolette Larson's on every song on this record except for Look Out for My Love and Lot of Love, which Crazy Horse actually are the backing band on those two songs, but different band for the rest of the songs of the album. So I recommend this record. I'd say it's a B- for sure. You know, it's a good record. Not the best record of his career, but you know, far from the worst. And next is Rory Gallagher, Top Priority. Rory Gallagher was originally, well, he's an Irish guitarist, and he was originally in the band Taste. And Taste were kind of a blues rock, hard blues rock kind of a band. And when they broke up, he just kind of continued along that vein in his career. Hard blues, rock, power trio in this iteration of the band, I believe. I don't really know a lot about Rory Gallagher. I mean, I know that he died of after he had a liver transplant, and I think 1995. And I know that he's Irish, and that, you know, he was a pretty well-regarded guitar player. But I'm not a fan of his music. I just bought this because it was $1 bin at a show, and I thought I'd try it and check it out. And you know, it was competent, and I thought it was pretty good, but I can't really judge it. It's not really the kind of music I'm into, and so I don't know if it's it's not as good as Taste, the self-titled Taste that I'd heard. So that's about that. So that's all. That's it. That's the records. Now, Jim had left me a comment asking me, what do I mean when I say A and B stampers and stuff like that. So 8 minutes here. I'm going to maybe spend a few minutes trying to explain them. So typically in a matrix code in the Deadwax on a record, there'll be like a code for the manufacturer or the label. So let's say like MCA, and then there'll be like a dash, or there won't be. There is no rule. And then typically there'll be the catalog number that the record gets. So, you know, what's this Neil Young one? So here there'll be like MSK2266 will be in the Deadwax. And then for some labels there'll be like a dash A, or no dash and just A. And that would mean first plate. For some labels it'll be A1, and that'll mean first plate. For some labels it'll be 1A, and that'll mean first plate. And then second plate If the label just has A, the second plate might have a -1. If the label is 1A, it might be 2A. It might be 1A-1. It might be 1AA. Or it might be 1B. They might go to the next letter. So, and that's the way it works. Now, side 2, some labels will do the same thing on side 2 with the A or 1A or A1 or some way to designate that that is the first plate. But other labels on side 2 will label it B or 1B or B1, and then they'll do the same designators for additional plates cut after that. So there is no rule. So for one label during one period of its life cycle, depending on where the plate was cut, what factory, you know, if one company cut it, that they might have their own way of labeling the matrix as well. So it's all over the map. But typically, like 1A stampers are good. Now, but that's not always the case, because recently I was talking about Pink Floyd and all the pressings that are really good that you might want, but that how the the most desirable is the first UK pressing, but it's like B2 is wanted, or A2 and B2 are wanted, and not A1. And I couldn't quite remember, but somebody left in the comments that the A1 and B1 plates were rejected, and plates were recut, and so that's why you want the B2 of those, because the A1s were never actually pressed. They were test pressed. They test pressed them and they were rejected, and they cut new plates. So also, if a company, say, does 1A and 1B, but one plate gets rejected, the first pressing might actually be a 2A, 1B. So you never quite know what a true first is until you start going. I mean, if it's 1A and 1A and that's the way it worked, that's probably a true first. But if the company, if you don't know that, you can always go online to somewhere like Hoffman and look it up in the forums, especially for very popular records, because people are talking about what the dead wax is in there, and they'll typically pull it for earlier pressings. You can pull the white label promo, because those are always the first plates. Back when, subsequently later, they weren't always the first plates, but there was a period in the 70s, 60s and 70s where the white label promos were always the first. So I know that makes it absolutely no clearer, but that's my really bad explanation of 1A and 1B and 1A and 1A and A1 and A, B, and well, let's just ramp through this stuff here, just out of interest. I've been burning through the inbox, so I got to keep filling it, because I never want this inbox challenge to end. So this is the Brooklyn Queens Expressway, Such and Stevens, and an Adrian Ballou. I got a Gary Newman, got a Claned, got another copy of Bitches Brew. I got a Japanese King of Rollins' Way Out West. I got a nice black label Prestige of Shirley Scott's Hip Soul. Lou Donaldson, Midnight Creeper. I have this on Trip with a different cover, so it's nice to get the original. And another Blue Note here, another Jimmy Smith Blue Note. So anyway, that was my dig today. So Drew Short, 100. Thanks for picking the numbers today and playing along, and thanks everybody for watching and commenting and being supportive, and go grab yourself an Edmund Fitzgerald if you are able to, and have a great day. Keep the record spinning.